tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick. This actually is going to play into where we're going today, which is kind of cool. So welcome to the Psychic News Universe. I am your host, Rob Akampora. This is my good friend of 30 years who wrote me into this whole thing, Annabelle. And our panel of experts, where you're going to find our usual forum of 4 others. As we get into it, bring them up one at a time. From Florida, FTA comes into the screen. So we welcome her back.
Everybody.
Tarot Destiny is back.
Hi.
Overseas, we bring in our man Rick Paul.
Good day.
And from out west, Thor Sandalwood. Ladies and gentlemen, we ready for another session of this whole thing?
Yeah, live. We're all live.
I like the enthusiasm. I like the fact nobody's throwing up. This is all good. With that being said, I was given a little bit of a clue where we're starting today. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop. No, we're not talking about Kesha. Okay. Okay. Oh God. So it happened a couple of days ago that the House of Representatives voted 352 to 65 to approve a bill to ban TikTok from operating here in the United States. Now it's going to the Senate. This would be an unprecedented ban on the app and one of the most popular apps, as we know, that is going around the world. Now, TikTok CEO Xiao Shu is loudly protesting this. He says, "We believe we can overcome this together. The ban threatens lives and livelihoods." But this is a national security issue that we're talking about because the app is not based in the United States. It is based out of, well, another country. And there's an issue of right to privacy that we're going on here. So as I pass it on to you, panel, as I pass it on to the cards, can we look into the future of what could be with TikTok in the United States?
Sure.
I would appreciate that.
I'm going to do our patented 7-card spread.
And start there.
We're starting with Ace of Wands upright, 4 of Cups upright, the Knight of Swords upright, World in reverse, the Ace of Cups in reverse. Nobody likes to see that. And the 5 of Wands in reverse is our dominant energy. Under the surface, we've got Strength in reverse as well. So, want me to drive?
Yeah, let's get that up there so everybody can see it. I was clicking on it, it just wasn't coming on. That's
all right.
There we go. That's what I get. It's a drag and click. I forgot about that. Thank you very much.
Let's keep our selenite in sight here and also our sage, because we're going to be talking about deep stuff today.
Well, this is a place to start. All right, you dealt them. You start.
So what I'm seeing here is that there is a lot of movement and chaos on this. We get the 8 of Wands here, which this is a tricky one for all my new students. They always go, there's just a bunch of sticks. I'm not sure what that card means at all. Well, it's an easy card. It means speed, communication. There's lots of stuff going on. Problem solving here, trying to figure out a solution to it. But this is conflict and dilemma. So I'm going to pass it over to one of my colleagues here, FTA. You want to pick it up at this Knight of Swords?
Well, it looks to me like they still want to charge forward. The powers that be in who run TikTok still want to they want to charge forward with this. They're not going to take no for an answer.
Tarot Destiny, what are you getting from this reverse World and this reverse Ace of Cups? I always hate to see that reverse Ace of Cups. It always makes me a little bit nervous. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's the end of, I really think that that's going to go through, that they're going to ban it. From
Would you like another card? I could throw it here. I'm going to throw you another card.
I like this. We're hitting on 15. There you go.
Yeah, no victory.
Yeah, this reverse 6 of Wands is an issue.
Right.
So let's kick it over to Rick Paul. What are you getting from all of this hubbub?
I don't think it's going to be as easy as saying who's going to win what, because I think there's been a demand or a need generated, and I think that's going to be where the battle lines are drawn. The words I'm hearing in my head at the moment is an old song. I don't know how far back this goes, but somebody's got you in a chokehold.
Ooh,
so it's one of those where I feel that with it, that it's not clear cut. I think it'll be another one of those battle situations there's going to be no real victors out of it. It's like two dogs out in the backyard peeing up the wall, so you can get iced up the fence, as far as I can make out with that. But when I'm looking at the overall picture with it, yeah, there's forces that are trying to push it on at a pace, but they're meeting opposition. And ultimately, with that world in reverse card, the way that I pick up on what I've listened to you talk about is that world in reverse is we're not going to complete the cycle in some way or another. So there's a massive battle ahead. And I can't see any sides winning favor out of that draw, to be honest.
Yeah.
And for full disclosure, I know a couple of us have YouTube channels. I know, Rick, you do, but you do not have a TikTok channel, do you?
No, purely because I find the energy behind the people that do that work there overwhelming. I went on there to just sort of guest and look at somebody else's work, and I don't know how they manage with that speedy environment. So personally for me, it wasn't for me. It was just too much sort of coming at me energetically.
Right. And I think it's an important point to bring out here is, we're doing this reading because it's not like anybody has a real, attachment to the channel. Thor, I know you're also on YouTube. For you, there's no attachment here as far as
TikTok channel.
Oh, you
I have a TikTok.
Okay, so you may have a different perspective on this just by having a TikTok channel. But what are you getting off of this right now?
Well, I think what they're trying to do, especially with the world card reversed, I think this is a game of international chess. And I think it has to do with the shadow side of everything that's going on around the world. So I think there's kind of these economic wars going on around the world. And I think this is part of my so the world reverse to me kind of represents that world conflict. There's countries trying to establish dominance, whether it be economic, technological, AI, whatever apps. And so this kind of comes to me, this is kind of between the different apps. So for example, we have Facebook and Instagram, and then we have TikTok. And so, how could we best get out a rival? Well, we could just ban the rival.
Right.
I think that this is going to be, I feel like with that TikTok's not going to win, though. I do feel like they're going to move forward. I think this is going to end up banned. We got the 6 of Wands there reversed. I think they're going to lose. I think this is going to move forward. Now, I don't know if Biden's going to sign it. That's going to be what we're going to have to see. But I think it's going to pass the Senate.
Okay. Well, Thor, let me ask you this, since you kind of went there. What do you see as far as then the relationship between the United States and China in this situation if things continue to get where they're going, if it passes the Senate and goes to the next level?
Well, I feel like it's going to be more tensions. I feel like this is just one little domino in the overall tensions of everything going on. I mean, South China Sea, everything's kind of this game of hidden hand chess, if you want to think about it.
I like that. Yeah.
It's kind of like that Star Wars chess.
It's almost three-dimensional at this point. The levels of all this is, we take a look at the cards one more time, because of all the levels that we just did. Thor really described very well as far as the countries that are involved, and there's more than just the two countries we just mentioned.
Yeah, and I would love to have an opinion on TikTok, but I set up a TikTok account, and then they restricted my account immediately before I posted anything.
Did they tell you why? Let me ask you that.
No, and I asked them to please fix it.
Right.
They said no.
Right.
So they actually didn't even respond to me. So because it's associated with my phone number, I can't set up a TikTok account. So I would love to be on there. But so let's see what the solution for this is. Let's see if we can come up with a solution for the powers that be here in the United States and elsewhere versus the powers that be over at TikTok.
On the clock.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Something.
Wow.
You love the reactions. You can get this on the Joker's Wild. I'm telling you. Woo!
So we got got Seven of
reverse.
Swords, as my good friend Alicia Wicker calls it, the sneaky snacker.
The sneaky snacker, huh?
And we have the Devil in reverse. Temperance here in the upright. Justice card in reverse. Six of Pentacles in the upright. Overall, we get Two of Cups, which, guys, what do we think of this Two of Cups? It's kind of a thumbs up for the Two of Cups. And underneath the surface, we still have this 10 of Wands or 10 of Swords in reverse. So is the situation not undone? Are we still struggling with it? But looking at partnership, I mean, this kind of looks interesting. What do you guys take? I think we should start from the bottom up. Let's start with Thor on this one.
Yeah, let's go to you, Thor. What do you think?
Well, you know, the obviously there's going to be drama with the Devil reversed, and then we have the Seven of Swords. There's going to be a lot of backroom deals. This could be a total power play that's happening, and forcing them to come to the negotiating table. So forcing TikTok to come to the negotiating table. I know one of the terms was it was either going to get banned or they want it sold to a U.S. buyer. Is that correct?
Right. That is correct.
So they might actually come to something. They might, because at the end of the day, I'm sure TikTok doesn't want to lose money on this either. So if they could sell it for a fair price, that could be the Two Cups situation. But I think it's going to be out of the central, the company in China's hands at that point, or ballpark, I was going to say.
So we got one of our super fans here. B Bear says it's all about, hi B Bear, hope you're having a great day. It's about where corporate control and other data is. The EU has similar requirements on social media that operate in their countries. The US has been reluctant to do such things, but it's within the law. I think because of the the screaming wonderful First Amendment that we have here,
right?
I think that there are some dilemmas with that. They don't want to restrict people's voices. They want to make sure that we do that. So
well, let me go to Rick for a second, because you talk about the EU having similar requirements. Rick, can you expand upon that being overseas?
Sorry, no, I'm not quite sure where that bit's going, if I'm being truthful.
No problem.
Rick, you just speak your mind no matter what, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing that I've got on with those cards, truthfully, is the words I heard in my head as soon as I looked at the spread was money talks, and we can sit here and debate about laws and who says what to who, but at the end of the day, there's going to be enough people that've created a need, they've created a monster. There will be a way around it. Most of the battles will be done behind closed screens and in boardrooms, and the media, the PR people will put their spin on it, and those that want to go out there and digest all of that sort of, and I'm picking my words very carefully here, digest all of that crap, then they will take whatever is being fed to them. Can I just have those cards up again, because I want to get get the feeling behind them.
There you go, sir.
So when I see that swords cards there, that's selfish people to me. The one that on the furthest left, I just see selfish people that are gathering everybody else's thoughts and everybody else's energies, and they're not bothered about like repercussions or anything like that. The Devil in reverse for me is still this static card where we're chained to. The partnership card with the Two of Cups there, I'm just looking at, it'll be forced through. There'll be that sort of, there won't be any balance and moderation or mediation over it. It will be this shot deal of this is what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, put your personal pride aside, because we've all got to make money out of this venture. And as I say, when I looked at the Six of Coins there, or Pentacles, I was just thinking that everybody's going to have a bite out of a bit of a shit sandwich, but at the end of the day, they're going to make money out of it. So when I'm looking at the sort of 10 of Swords there at the end, it's neither here nor there. It ain't going to make any difference what people think, because there's powers above that are going to make sure this happens. So I think a lot of what's going on around the world energetically at the moment is a lot of blustering, but it depends on which side of the fence you are, because people will put out what they want to back and build up their own viewpoint of things. So we were looking at a sort of a true overall picture there. yeah, it might well get banned, but in some form or another, it will exist because it's too big not to.
The question is, who eats the shit sandwich then? That's really what it's going to boil down to. Since he brought up a shit sandwich, I mean, it's not a good taste in the mouth, but a very accurate statement.
Wasn't that a Spinal Tap album?
You know what? Gregopedia, I know you're there. You might want to check that. We'll come to you in a couple of minutes.
Shark Sandwich, right?
Okay, Shark Sandwich. Well, that's a good way to wrap up.
And I pulled the cards down.
You pulled it. I guess that's a wrap on that. That's fine.
I'm sorry. I was just like.
No, I was just gonna go to at least the last two, like FTA.
Absolutely.
FTA, can you add anything?
I got excited. We started talking about Spinal Tap.
See, FTA, if you want to add anything.
I have to agree with Rick. Money talks, and everybody's going to get on the bandwagon, and they'll make this a political issue, but in the background, it's already a done deal. There'll be a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, we should ban it," blah 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 blah. But money talks, and that's too big of a platform for them to just get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to agree with Rick on that one.
TD, you got the last word.
I'm looking at the Two of Cups and Temperance in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to reach some sort of balance there or agreement. I'm wondering and with the Justice in reverse, and then what I'm wondering is if it will go through, but there will be some sort of, I don't know if you want to call it modification of the platform, or changes to the platform before it finally goes through. Just not sure.
It'd be interesting if there were modifications. I mean, we've already seen that with Twitter with their modifications. I don't know if that was the best move for them. It seems to be doing okay, but I get the feeling Twitter has suffered a little bit ever since Elon took it over and did the changes that he's done. That's just my take.
I just pulled 3 more cards on this, and I think if they try to negotiate on the foundations and the way that it operates, I think we're going to run into some issues here because no one wants to give up their amount of control. This is like, a sale of a house where you have the real estate agents handling the buyer and the seller. There's really nobody in the driver's seat per se for one of the parties. So nobody wants to give up control. Neither of them like any of the adjustments they want to make to the platform. So adjustments, right? So I think that they're going to be at a stalemate for a while. But I do think, as TD said, I think that we've got something very interesting with that Temperance, the Justice card, and this Two of Cups. With the Temperance and the Two of Cups, there's a sentiment of trying to get to an even ground here and work together. But the Justices, neither side feels like they're getting they're both feeling like they're getting the short end of the stick. So I think our side, the United States side, wants a little bit more control over the platform. And I think the other side wants a little bit more privacy about what they're doing with the information and the content on the platform. So, but TikTok, if you're listening, I still would like to put my stuff up on your platform. So release me. Please release me.
Oh, God. There's only one winner in this whole debate about TikTok, and it's Kesha. Moving right along, we go to debate number 2. All right, Catherine, Prince of Wales, we'll go here. She issued an apology recently for distributing an image that had been, quote unquote, manipulated, highlighting speculation about her health and her whereabouts since her January surgery. You are the resident expert on the royals. I'm going to let you take it from here.
So one of the things, just to recap for anybody that's watching that's not an Uber fan of all of our channels, did you say you, Greg? You're an Uber fan.
Gregopedia inserting that he's not a fan. What?
Right?
He's on the payroll. Wait a minute.
So, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has not been seen since Christmas. She did have an abdominal surgery of no description,
Right.
but they did say that it was quite serious, and she was going to be not participating in public events for the royal family, working, etc., until Easter. There were some rumblings from a certain squad of super sugary sweet people that there was a whole bunch of things. They said she was, I did it on one of my lives. I went over all the conspiracy theories. They said that she was in a coma. They said that she was unalived. They said that William got DRUNK.
I like how you put it as unalive and not dead. I like that. Unalive.
Yes, unalive.
Why do I got the Princess Bride? Your friend is mostly dead, which means he's somewhat alive.
So with that, there were some rumblings about seeing her. Recently, there was a background photo that was published on TMZ, on an American outlet, of Catherine, Princess of Wales, driving with her mother. Her mother was driving the car. Her face did look somewhat bloated. It was a grainy picture. It was taken from some distance. Then she did release a picture on the British Mother's Day, which is different from the United States Mother's Day, just to make sure I didn't wish all my favorite United Kingdom mothers happy Mother's Day, but happy Mother's Day to any of you that are in England or Scotland or Wales or Ireland. So she released a picture that proved to have, I believe, 16 points of photoshopping evidence on it. The opposition, the social opposition on this, has said that this is proof that there's something afoot, there's something wrong, there's something going on. I am not in that camp, obviously. If you've been watching my channel or any of the other channels for my fabulous colleagues here, we're not all of us are really in that camp that, you know, like there's something going on with her. Certainly there's something going on physically. Certainly there's something going on medically. But is it something nefarious that's being cooked up by the royal family? I don't necessarily think so.
Do you think it goes deeper than just anything we just said?
I think that in, you know what I'm going to say.
Well, you know I'm setting you up. You better knock it down.
So I think that in the tradition of the late Queen Elizabeth, that this is a chess move. And I did disclose it to my lovely colleagues here. I think that this is a reaction to the court case that we just had with Prince Harry, requesting the restoration of his royal security with no questions asked. Currently, the case was thrown out, and he was offered a bespoke approach to any of his trips back to the United Kingdom. And hello, Gemma, darling. He was offered a bespoke issue by issue approach to any of his security. He is appealing that, which by all accounts is somewhat foolish because it does seem like throwing money into the wind. I think that the great late Queen Elizabeth has left this amazing legacy of playing royal chess. And I think that they have done this photo situation with Catherine to create an obvious need for working royals to have the standard of security that they are used to. And it will show in a reflection that certain parties that are no longer royals and want to latch on to the American way of life, that they don't need security. So I want to do a spread on that, and I want to get all of my colleagues' view on it.
And I would like to also make a note, this is the only podcast that has mentioned chess as many times as it has had in the first 25 minutes.
Chess.
Yeah, right, fine. Let's get to the gods. Shuffling them up.
So shuffling them up just to see if this is the machine, the PR machine behind the scenes that is manipulating this to affect Harry's case. Sword in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse. We've got the King of Pentacles in the upright, the Lover's card, Three of Swords, and the Ace of Wands in reverse. The overall energy is the Seven of Wands in reverse. And under the surface, we do have that Queen of Pentacles. I would like to pull some extra cards for anybody who asks for them. But who do we want to start with?
Well, I think we got to go to the man who lives overseas and has probably got a lot more than any of us. Rick?
Do you know, Right, when I come on here, I'm known for my forthrightness, I think, and my opinions, right? When I first heard it all broke, that I couldn't have been any more disinterested if I'd have put any effort into it. Right? I just looked at it and I thought, leave the poor woman alone. You know, even if there is these big conspiracy theories, if there's any truth to it whatsoever, right? She's put a picture on. And you show me on any of the other forums where it's a big problem, where they go on and they put the pouty lips on and the false eyelashes and all of the rest of the crap. Nobody bats an eyelid, but because she goes on there and does something where somebody sat and used their time and their energy to say, oh, that's definitely been photoshopped. So what? I'm absolutely boggled that it's got this amount of press and exposure for why this has become a thing. Like, the people that are around me here are just sort of sat here going, but in the sense of where I want to sort of give that sense of balance there, when we're looking at the readings itself, I do believe in particular over here that I'm not mentioned specific channels, but there's a channel over here that I believe is just like the media speak part of our broadcasting. I think that the media has this ulterior motive that wants to manipulate other things. So I'm not quite sure about your take on it, Annabelle. Truthfully, I don't know on that one. But in the sense of
mine's a psychic spit. So, you know, like I just that's me. That's something that I've thought. Maybe this is like a machination behind the scenes. And that's why I put up Brown Eyed Lady. Hello, darling. I put up her comment because it's something that I said, maybe this is part of the PR situation that they're going to manipulate
100%.
to illustrate that Harry doesn't really need that kind of security and that the working royals do. So we're going to take a look at it. I'm not saying that's what's going on psychically. We're going to take a look at it though.
Right.
But it's definitely one thing I definitely do agree with you. It's a smokescreen for something else. 100%. It's I just can't get my head round why it's suddenly important news. You know, if the lasses, sorry, I'm saying lass there, but if the lady's poorly or whatever, give her a bloody privacy. Let her go through whatever it is. If she's putting out that she's okay, it's none of our business whether she's not is or she isn't. And this is coming from somebody who is not a royal fan, but I do believe and most strongly about people being bullied over social media and things like that. We've had at length discussions, haven't we, about trolling and things like that recently. And for me, when I look at it, I get quite het up about it because whatever level of life you're at, I don't think it's acceptable in any way to bully people, or, you know, if they've got different opinions, that's absolutely fine, but let them sort of pin the way through it. Anyway, I'm off down a rabbit hole there. Can I have the cards back again there? Sorry.
You can have the cards back. Sure thing, honey. There you go.
I just get so passionate about when people I feel are being picked on for no good reason. So I'm looking at the Ace of Swords there, and that's my BS detector when I'm reading tarot. With it being air, it cuts through illusion. So with it being in reverse, the way that I'm picking that up energetically is there's just something stuck in the ground there. It's just like, you know, there's a battle going on there. There's somebody's thoughts that are, I feel with it being disregarded. You know, if she has done anything, I don't think that it's been willingly. I think when you said about PR, that really rang a bell with me. When we're looking at the battle card up in the top there as well, that I feel that she's facing battles there. But I also think that with her, that the card upside down, I'm never sure about reversals personally, but I'm just going with the feeling on it that she's in a battle with William. So we've got the Lovers card there. So she's in a battle with him. That there's royal protocols that must be followed. And then as we go into the Three of Swords there, which for me represents heartbreak and heart upset that's occupying the thoughts. And she can't move on practically to the Ace of Wands because there's all of this emotion going on in the background. So there's lots of things that I feel that she probably want to say and that she'd want to do, but she's bound by protocol because that's what she's being instructed is the best for her. And I've got, sorry, what's the card at the end there with the?
So I threw a couple of uprights for you just to make it a little harder.
You
This
would.
is like when you take a class and the instructor said, gym class, and the instructor says, "Oh, there's no surprise element at the end," and then they go, "Great, we're doing burpees."
So we've gone from beginner to advanced in 5 seconds. Great.
So the card
Yeah.
down here, this is our Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and I overlaid her with the Queen of Wands in the upright.
I'm just sensing that her hands are tied with all of this. I would say I would say that personally for it, if you were sort of stood with your gal pal tribe, because I love your description of that, where the three is there. If you was with her personal friends, you would get a totally different story to what the PR are spinning it out at the moment. Because for me, this whole thing with the picture is so inconsequential, but it's being blown up for a reason, and it's that bit that I'm not 100% sure of. So when I keep looking at that thing with the money there and the pentacles, I just keep coming out with that she's being held to ransom. Now, whether it's thoughts or emotions or whatever it is, practically, she's being held to ransom. So she can't speak her true speak, and that's causing a heartbreak. And that's where I'm about, whether it's controversial or not. I have got to go with what I feel with those cards.
Yeah, I'm finding this the clarifier card that I used here on the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is like bad magic, bad juju going on, bad PR, bad work going on. And when we bring in this Ace of Cups, it quenches it. The wand is fire, the cups are water. So this is going to quench it and create some steam. So I think this is building up steam for something else bigger. I think they're setting a foundation for something else. And this is what we're talking about. Now, all of us know Lady C, and we all watch Lady C, Lady Colin Campbell. This card is going to be very interesting because she kept saying there's a big surprise for Harry and Meghan in the spring. Today, it finally feels like spring here in New Jersey.
Yeah, first thing. Really,
it's going to be 75 degrees today. Let's go over to TD and see what you're getting on this, TD. If this is going to be the precursor to something bigger that has to do with Harry and Meghan as well.
I'm not sure about the Harry and Meghan thing, but I followed Prince William and Princess Catherine of Wales since they got married. I just really liked their story and everything. So for me, it's kind of heartbreaking to see what's going on. Now, yes, they did blow up that picture of her with the kids on Mother's Day, and others to, they're speculating on their marriage, on her health, on her emotional. It's all PR for something. But I think I agree with Rick in that they need to leave these poor people alone. I mean, they're obviously having a marriage issue. Everybody goes through marriage issues. Unfortunately, she's in the public eye, and it's just, I don't know what the finish line is for that. But
well, TD, when we get the Lovers card and then there's three of swords together, this is usually like relationship stuff. So I didn't want to jump too hard on that, but you already touched on it.
I'm sorry.
So, but you know what? I think if we could switch over to Thor, I would love Thor's opinion on this.
So I don't think that this particular issue has really much to do about Harry and Meghan, even though I know we all want to link it. I think that this issue, I really do. If you've seen some of my astrology videos, I've seen when I look at the marriage between Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, it's not perfect. Okay, so I think there's some conflict, but obviously they're not going to put this conflict out to the public. There's also been some allegations. I don't know. There's been some allegations of, I'm trying to think of the proper word, that there may be a mistress or something along the, it's been on some websites. There might be something based on the astrology. There may be something to this. I can't say for certain, or there at least are the allegations there, because in the astrology chart, the 6th house can just represent accusations and allegations. This could be some sort of separation that the royal family's trying to kind of put out the fire and kind of just trying to do damage control at this point.
It's an interesting interpretation, but I mean, I go to you on this one, and I'm going to pull the cards back up because I mean, Thor's getting that from his astrology readings and also a little bit over here. But do you see what he's seeing?
The right answer, or what I want to say?
Well, that's two completely different things there. Now, come on.
So before I dive onto this one, I just want to remind everybody to please subscribe to all of us. Thor has some amazing stuff on his channel with the royal family and their astrology. It is such an awesome academic approach. Rick, Paul, and I, of course. Rick has an amazing channel about spiritual upliftment and developing your spiritual self. And we do our show on Monday mornings. We have a series going on right now of a Vibe with the Tribe. We're going to have some fun with that. TD, she is flexing her muscles over on Instagram. All of our channels are linkable in the description of this video. Please go over and subscribe to all of us. Make sure that you like this video. Florida Tarot Apprentice, we're getting her launched onto some platforms very, very shortly. And of course, my co-host Rob Akinpora here. He has Rob, the A Game with Rob Akinpora here on YouTube. Please go over and give him a like and check out some of his videos. He interviews all kinds of cool people. My person that I stalk, Siobhan Hogan, has been on his channel. I love you, Siobhan. I hope she sees this. I am her #1 fan. So this looks to me like there could be some trouble in the situation. So I'm just going to do a little mini Celtic cross, and hopefully it's not going to come up like that. You like that voice?
Yeah, that was interesting. I was like, oh, where the hell did that come from? My God.
With that 5 of Wands, that means we've got some difficulty. Hermit, that means there's some separation. Under the surface, 8 of Cups, walking away from something that's for something that's better. That Knight of Swords behind the scenes is somebody who is difficult to work with, struggling, sometimes somebody with a temper. The 9 of Pentacles on top is there is safety, staying in one place. But the way I teach this 9 of Pentacles card is that we're always giving up some level of freedom for security. And that really, really speaks loudly in this kind of a spread with this kind of a marriage. Up ahead, soon to be outcome is not being in control of the situation. So I do think that if there is some marital issues, that she's not the one that's calling the shot on the future of the marriage. Just my opinion. I'm just reading tarot. It's not what I want to say, but it's what I did say. Anybody else want to fire?
Well, I think FTA gets the last word because she's the only one that has not chimed in here.
Well, having been a person, I've had major abdominal surgery, so that puts a strain on everything. What I'm seeing, can you put would you mind putting
coming right up, FDA? There you go.
What I'm seeing is, first of all, leave her alone. Dear God, you've gone through major surgery. Your body's trying to heal. You're probably on different medications. So of course you're not going to look your best. And so she put up a picture, big deal. I think, I'm also getting, and I don't want to say this. I'm hoping against hope that it's just because of, the major surgery puts a lot of stress on, but I'm also picking up little issues in the relationship, and I'm hoping that it will go away once she gets back on the mend. But having gone through something, I don't know what she has. She had abdominal surgery. I've had that. You just, you gotta rest. You have to have a very calming environment, and this is not doing her any good. What I'm feeling from the cards is there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of turmoil. And yeah, and it's sad. I also feel a lot of sadness when I'm looking at these cards, and I'm just, the optimist in me. I want everything to work out okay, but I did happen to see that picture on TMZ, and yeah, it's probably all the medications. You've had major surgery, but I guess I'm just want to say it's just please leave her alone. Just leave her alone and let her recover.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what's going to happen at Easter. To see, what her return. It's going to break the internet. We all know that.
It's not like Easter's not far away. We're only talking about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So, and they do that walk to the church. That's a tradition.
Right.
So, let's real quick just do a spread and see what Catherine can do. I always like to go real positive on this.
Okay.
What she can do to navigate through this and get optimum results for herself, for her family, for the kids.
Cut the deck, tri-cut, beautifully done.
And just a reminder, if anybody's asking for readings, we are not doing personal readings today. We are just doing the news. Personal readings, we will have lives and whatnot coming up in the future. So today is just news, but if you have a news-related question, you can put that up in the chat. So, all right. So, Aruga.
Yeah,
it's not good.
So, what she needs to do to navigate this. I'm going to start up here before I pass it over to y'all. This Two of Swords, we all know what that means. Those are hard decisions that you have to make. This is the Sophie's Choice kind of moment for her. She's got to make a decision which direction she's going to go in. Let's skip it on over to TD and see if TD can pull up some more information on the front end of this.
Well, on the front end, I'm just seeing her children, and they don't look like they're having the best time right now. I think that she has an impossible decision to make, and she doesn't know which way to go. And yeah, I just don't see a good outcome, really, how she can navigate through it. I think she just has to rest and try to consider her options, especially with the children. I don't know how that works in a rural situation. I've heard some people say the children remain at the palace or whatever, and she would go her own way. So I don't know what actually happens in those situations, but she has a really hard decision to make.
Yeah. This Hierophant in reverse, for me, I always read the Hierophant as the seat of power, and it looks like it's a discordant opinion with the church, with the crown. Let's go on over to Thor and just get his feedback on this.
So the Hierophant reversed, to me, I see the Hierophant, it can actually represent marriage as an institution, since it used to be associated with the church, mostly with the church. But I feel like, they're at a crossroads with the Two of Swords there and the reversed Hierophant. I do feel like she's at a crossroads. Does she want to keep moving forward with this? There might be some troubles. Okay. So I don't want to make any of our guests here angry about this, but there might be some troubles in the marriage, and it is kind of one of those timeout moments. Now this might be the worst timing. There might be the obviously the abdominal surgery. King Charles has cancer now. This might be just the perfect storm that's happening simultaneously while and I'm sure that's putting more pressure on the marriage as well. But I think she's trying to think about, how she wants to move forward. Is this something that she can accept? And also, we got to keep in mind, if King Charles ends up essentially, if Prince William ends up becoming king, maybe this is a really big decision. Just everything's kind of coming to the forefront right now.
Why don't I go to FTA and get your take on it?
Well, looking at the cards, she really is at a crossroads, and you know, the romantic in me does not want to see this marriage or anything happen with the marriage. But looking at this, there's a lot of, I just get a lot of heartache. I get a lot of stress, a lot of heartache, and she's got a decision to make, and she doesn't know what to do. You know, it would be different if the late queen, you know, she could speak to the late queen maybe, but I think everything that, like Thor said, has been a perfect storm. And, you know, when you're sick, it puts a lot of strain on, you know, on your family. And I really don't know. I'm, you know, I'm hoping that they work it out, but I don't know. I don't get a good vibe out of those cards.
So I'm just curious if Thor, do you see?
Well, I don't think Thor's here right now.
Oh, did we lose him?
We may have. So you may want to contact
okay.
him. So I was about to say, everybody's talking about, you know, they don't want to see what they notice that the D word is not being brought up here. You know, it's like you're implying it, but you don't want to say it. That seems to be the feeling I get off of everybody. Rick, am I wrong in saying that?
No, I want to get in tonight's most obscure reference because I'm sat here listening to all of you guys, and I've just got this image in my mind of this lady needs to completely lose her, and what's the right word? Isht, right? And go over the falls about it all. And my reference here is about the Incredible Hulk splitting the shirt. Because when I looked at those cards, I just got this image of being at a rodeo and just being hog-tied. That all of that, when I sat there, when those cards turned over sequentially, I just felt like I'd got trapped in a lift door. I was like this. So she's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. If she wants the riches and she wants the to be the queen, which is where it's inevitably going to end up, she's going to have a huge bite out of an Isht sandwich. Yeah. Now, it's whether she can actually cope with all of that at the level that it's going to come in at, or whether she's going to put her family first. And when you say about a crossroads, I'm not a big fan of the term crossroads, but I do feel that she's on a pathway of choice. But will she be able to make that choice objectively, or will the PR and the spin, will she be just like in the background, like Camilla was in that original sort of thing? Because it's like father, like son, as far as I'm concerned. I'm seeing a lot of history repeated when I'm looking at all of the circumstances that are going on around it. And is she prepared to sit in that spotlight but play second fiddle? Because my feeling always is there isn't smoke without, was it saying smoke without fire or fire without smoke?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, and that's 1A, fiddle 1B, fiddle 1C. I mean, you know, there can be some. I don't know. I'm trying to find a yellow brick road.
I was about to say, you're breaking down these fiddles way too small here. What are you doing?
So can we go to Thor just for a second? Thor, is there anything in Catherine's chart that indicates that they will split?
There's a possibility. I don't want to scare everybody, but there's definitely a possibility for the next year. She's in a period of what's known as the sixth house, and quickly the sixth house does have to do with things like separation, conflict, divorce in a conflictual way. It also can, and this is all allegedly, but it also can have to do with things like cheating, accusations of cheating, distrust. So there's a potential there. Now, I do still feel like we have a free will in all of this, but the circumstances are not the best at the moment. So the energies are kind of more separative with them right now, but she could still choose to just stay and be in the relationship using her free will in the situation.
Why do I get the feeling this drama is going to carry out through the summer?
I think so
at
too.
least.
But Thor, I actually have a question. When you look at like what, for example, like sometimes I will read on an individual, like a wife and a husband, and then I'll read on the marriage. I'll do a spread on the marriage. Do you do that with your charts? Like you have an individual chart for, like, say you're doing a reading on Rob and I, and putting together this program. Like, would you do a reading on me, a reading on him, or a reading based on the date that we came up with the idea, or the date that someone gets married? Is that how? Is that an application of your Vedic astrology research?
Absolutely. Now with the prediction I'm making, or the energies I'm looking at right now, I'm just looking at the Princess of Wales and Prince William's individual charts, but I could generate a chart on the date and time of their actual marriage, and we could assume like that's a institution or a person, and we could make predictions on that.
I think that's really cool. And you know what? One of the first things I did when my kids were born, like the minute I got home from the hospital, I ordered their charts. I think that that's really important, but that could be an awesome wedding present to give to somebody. If somebody needs a wedding gift, like a clutter-free wedding gift, like how cool to get them a reading from Thor, and they could get a reading on their marriage. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's unique.
Yeah, I think that's a great gift that keeps on giving.
Is that today's sponsor?
Wikipedia says that today's sponsor. That's lovely. And I think we can say that was a great round, guys. We're going to take the cards and go to round 3. And as we go to round 3, we're going to come back to the United States. And I'm about to bring up the Vice President of the United States. So
I'm not going to go to the economy.
You want to go to the economy first?
Yeah, because Rick had an interesting take on this.
Oh, yeah, because we were just talking about this topic as we were just talking about Rick, what we were discussing before we came into the topic about Catherine, and you were talking about a little bit of the economy.
Yeah, it was quite a strange thing because I'd say I don't really follow the news that closely. So it's like sat there and waiting for something to prick my ears up. And when this sort of thing all blew up and people were sort of forming the sides and forming their opinions, just looked at like the tin hat conspiracy theorists, whatever you want to know them as, that said that all of this was like, it was like an Oscar-winning performance. It was like a distraction because the US economy is on the verge of collapse right now. I'm not an intelligent man, and this has got nothing to do with a personal opinion. And I just thought, wow, that's a leap, isn't it? Where you start throwing up this massive performance because something huge is going on in the background. But the skill of a good magician is the sleight of hand.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
What the eyes don't spot, it makes for a good trick. So I don't know whether there's any grounds to it, but that just popped up on Facebook. But then again, Facebook always knows everything, and they're 100% back. So I really don't know. I was just sat there. It was just an observation that I found really, really funny.
I like the observation because it kind of sets this up for topic number 3, because what came out in the last month was the inflation is up about 0.5% between January and February, but we're also seeing price climbs and stuff like car insurance, restaurants, and the steady up climb of stuff like diapers. They're saying diaper prices have been up over the last year over 600%.
Come on, man.
I can't make that up.
See what I did?
Nice. Saw what you did there. With that being said, Anna's already put out the deck, so I'm going to put the cards up, and we're going to take a look as far as the economy goes.
Also, I've got Alicia Wicker's deck here, so we can pull a few of these cards too for conspiracy theory, guys.
All right. So according to the cards, what do you see as the potential future of the economy? What do we have?
So, you know what? Since I always go first, I want to let somebody else have first crack at it. So who wants first crack at this spread?
Notice everybody's jumping up and down for it. And I tell everybody the cards at least. Let's at least start there.
We've got the Emperor in reverse. We've got the Hangman in the upright position, which means he's already upside down. We've got the 10 of Swords in reverse, the 9 of Swords in reverse, 5 of Cups in reverse. Dominant energy is the World in reverse. And under the surface, we have 4 of Swords in reverse. And I just want to answer Needham's question. This is not my husband. This is my good friend, Rob Bacampora. He's super famous dude. I've known him for a long time. We're really good friends. And I've always been trying to trick him into working with me. So I finally did it.
With that being said, and I have no idea what you just said because it all didn't. Let's just put it this way: it doesn't sound good the way you just described those cards. Thor's kind of smiling. I mean, Thor, can you give me some interpretation here, please?
Well, so I think, based on the spread here, and I know there's some reversals there. We got the 10 of Swords reverse, 9 of Swords, 5 of Cups. I still take this as an overall negative reading when we're talking about the economy. And I feel like, there's been a lot of speculation lately. People have been calling this a silent depression. It's this idea that no one can afford housing or rent. No one can afford food, but then, we're watching the headlines on the news saying that Wall Street's doing amazing right now. And so
you bring up a great point there, Thor, because I think that's been one of the things, and I'm taking this outside of the cards and what you guys do from a point of that Wall Street being record high numbers on the Dow and what it's been doing. Some people do believe that's been the thing that has prevented us from going into a deeper recession than anything else, because Wall Street has done so well to keep us together.
I'm just noticing the other three cards: death, propaganda, and trauma.
Yeah, like that's Alicia Wicker and her
wow.
Really?
The propaganda could be the we're being told that everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. This inflation, no one can afford housing. It's fine. Everyone just go back to work and pay your taxes. So what I feel is I feel like this year, this is my prediction. I feel like we're going to see a global slump with the world reverse there. And I feel like we're just waiting for the trigger. We're waiting for whatever black swan event is going to show up. There's a lot of instability in the world. There's several different wars going on, and we're just waiting for that right little, pinprick on the balloon to kind of set off the dominoes.
So like a black swan with maybe a black rock involved. Oh, did I go there? Wait, there's some sedans out front. I gotta go answer the door.
Oh, please. This whole thing is just making me remember Kevin Bacon in Animal House. Remain calm. All is well. He was on it. I knew he would be. TA, coming to you. What do you see here?
Oh my God, I love that. I love that movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a classic.
Yeah, this is. I got what popped in my head was the term bread and circuses.
Wow, me too. Get out of my head. Yeah, I was seeing
distract. I mean, I know personally everything's going up. My car insurance just went up. My housing insurance, property insurance went up, right. And I want to say we're in a bad recession, going toward a depression. I have to agree. This is just, but there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. That's what I just heard that bread and circuses, and nobody, we're the little people are feeling all the pain, and we're being told, no, this is okay. You're doing good. No, this is not it's a very negative reading. And I just think we're being lied to on so many fronts, and you just have to ask people. Forget about what they say in the news. Just ask normal people. Everything's going up. Just go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And it's not 3% inflation. It's a lot higher.
Oh, yeah. Look, we've all been to the stores, and just trying to find just ground meat. We know where it's become a little bit more than we ever imagined at this point. So yeah. CD, your take.
I think the last 4 years have been all about the propaganda. Everything's fine here. Our economy is doing great. Our government's doing great. Meanwhile, that's what they're thinking. But all of us, being the citizens that are paying the taxes and everything, all we see is our dollars don't stretch near as far as they used to. You know, go to the grocery store, you'd spend maybe $100. Now you're spending $300 for the same stuff. I mean, it has skyrocketed. And I live in the Midwest, so it's very, let's say, a good, you know, your dollar stretches pretty far, you know.
But let me ask you this, TD, because like you said, living in the Midwest, and always it's never really hit there that the let's say it this way, cost of living out there has always been considered favorable, and now for the first time it hasn't been as favorable. Am I accurate in saying that?
Yes, you're very accurate in saying that. A house that I would have bought, say, last year for $200 is now $400,000 and $500,000.
And that's huge, because again, there are people who do try to move from other parts of the country because they're basically saying, I want to get more for my money. Right. So I'm going to move from maybe a big metropolitan area to maybe someplace in the Midwest where I can get more for my money with the house, with food, with everything else. And now all of a sudden what you're saying is, and we're seeing the numbers, it's not that much of a difference.
No. It's not.
No.
Yeah, that's harsh. Rick, I'm going to give you the last word as you observe from where you are in the UK and look at all of us and kind of go, by the way, when am I moving to the UK then with all these cards and everything? It's getting to that point, man.
When I work, I've made a point over the last few years since I've been doing tarot reading that I don't work with darkness and negativity. You know, I'll help people if they're facing up to that, but I don't particularly work at. So I must admit, when I saw those cards in that thing, it just filled me full of horror. It really did. And I'm looking at it, and one of the comments that was in the comments section was, "We will own nothing and like it." And I truthfully believe that's what we're being herded towards. So the top percentage of the people will control the majority. And there was a song going through my head here, so I apologize for my poor singing voice, but tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Yeah, and I've just got this artificial sort of atmosphere being built up that was just saying, like, switch the TV on, hit the feeder bar, and we'll give you your daily dose of crap. Right? You have to take that on board, and everything. Watch the eyes, around the eyes, everything is okay, isn't it? You know, so language patterns, there's a lot of sort of psychology behind all of the sort of broadcasts and things like that. But again, with the previous topic that we was discussing, this with the swords there, people aren't being allowed to voice what is truly going on. So we're taking a general overview from people, but it's not coming from the genuine people. You will like the crap that we're feeding you, won't you? You know, and I'm just feeling like you're being bounced along. It's so frustrating because you'll sit here and we can have these debates for any amount of time, but truthfully, it's not going to get heard. So I put up a post once on Facebook saying that we're in the middle of the biggest war that we've ever seen, but it's unseen. And I got slated for it. And I thought, yeah, but nobody actually gave me the opportunity to say why I felt that. So when I'm looking at those cards there in that spread, that's exactly what I'm seeing. We're in the war, and they're not bothered about collateral damage and the people that it's going to affect, because the bigger corporate people, the powers that be, the top echelon, whatever you want to call them, are in control of everything. And you will like what we're giving you. So there's no structure. They're hanging upside down, where with the hanging man, we're not going anywhere because we haven't got the wiggle room to go anywhere. And the Nine of Swords there in reverse, which for me is all about despair and worry. Right, you're falling on your own sword. That's the way I'm seeing that picture. You're falling on your own sword, and there's a lot of sadness involved in it. So you can't get out of your own thoughts because you're not being given the opportunity to have options. So I feel with that word, I'm just going to leave it with this word, just pain.
Yeah. So I'm getting the same thing. I'm getting that we're circling the drain here, and there is a mechanism in place that is preventing us from really seeing how bad it is, like the regular plebes like us. So, anytime it gets bad, they're going to sugarcoat the ish sandwich that we're all eating, and they're going to kind of force feed us that. But this is the spiraling death of our economy, our worldwide economy. Up here, did we have money? Yes, but it's being separated into two piles. And I'm going to tell you guys, the pile that's on our side is really, really itty bitty. And they're just going to throw us crumbs to make us happy. So we did get a question on the board from Amanda. We all love Amanda. She's always on the lives. And we're going to put up her question and pop question. And let's see if we can get some cards on that, guys. And let me know if you want me to pull some of Alicia's cards, because I got 2 stacks of them here.
So why are so many foreign nationals purchasing up U.S. farmland? It's a very interesting question.
It is a very interesting question. We're going to get over here. Oh, and then we got another political question.
As you do the big time shuffle.
As I'm choking.
That too, but no cards have fumbled this time, so I'm very happy about that.
No sloppy shuffle tarot.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming soon, that website will be up and at 'em. And did you notice how many people we lost? I think that's the algorithm. Let's I'm gonna get a cough drop. Let's cut to somebody else and we'll mute us for a minute. So,
okay, no problem. No problem.
Give it over to TD.
Yeah, TD, take a look at the cards. What are you thinking?
Why are they being allowed? We don't know. There is manipulation with the magician. And I think, and it's keeping us from seeing why they are being allowed to do so. But I feel that there's something political going on. And I personally feel, my personal feelings on it is, to be able to own land in the U.S., I think you should be a U.S. citizen.
In the comments, Grumpy Sapper had said that in the Philippines that non-residents, non-citizens are not allowed to buy property. It's the same in Japan. And Japan even goes one step further. For example, when my mother-in-law immigrated here, she forfeited any right to inheritance and property. So becoming an American, like her children cannot buy property. And actually, there's a little bit of a change right now. Because there's so many abandoned homes in Japan, they do have a program where people can come and restore them, which I thought was a really cool thing. I kind of rolled that by Greg. We did try and study Japanese to no avail. We didn't do very well at it. But, they're not owning vast tracts of land in huge tracts of land in the United States, if you are a competing foreign nation, is a little bit disturbing. But oddly, this does not look like a disturbing relationship here for me, TD. This looks like, hey, you know what? We got to partner up. We got to, we're going to be like the, what was it on Star Trek? The Confederacy, the Federation?
The United Federation of Planets.
So we're looking at the United Federation of Planet Earth right here. But up here, this is a little bit odd. TD, what's your take on that 3 of Cups in reverse?
Well, the 3 of Cups upright is celebration with your friends. And in reverse, it can be a celebration that's getting out of control, or it can be, there was a friend group and now there's no longer a friend group. They're no longer working together.
And here, with this 8 of Swords in reverse, and FTA, sound off on this one. That 8 of Swords in reverse is usually when contracts kind of blow up. What's your take on that?
My unfortunately, my screen is frozen. I'm still on the. I'm still seeing the cards from before, so I don't have the new. Yeah, I don't have the new. I'm looking on my phone because for some reason my computer froze. Can
goodness.
Can you just restate that question?
Yeah, so we've got the 4 of Wands in the upright, 2 of Swords in the upright, 8 of Swords reversed, Magician upright, Hermit upright. The dominant energy is the 3 of Cups in reverse, and the underlying energy is the 4 of Cups in the upright.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm looking on my phone because for some reason my computer screen froze. So it has the old deck.
Well, we'll come back to you, honey. Let's see if you can refresh and we'll come back to you. Let's pull up.
All right.
Who should we pull up next?
We'll go to Thor on that.
Go to Thor on that. Thor. Oh, wait. There we go. Wait a minute.
Did you just take Thor out?
I just took Thor out.
How dare you?
I'm taking everybody out. I'm just doing crazy things here. Thor, what's your take on this spread?
So what I feel is going on is, 8 of Swords reversed. I'm kind of going back into the reading there. I feel that a lot of these multinationals, hedge funds, we have to remember that a lot of these are international. They're multinational. So they might have their headquarters in some country, listed in the database. But what I was going to say is 8 of Swords reverse can actually mean the reverse of what it represents. It can represent like free market forces. Mm-hmm. And I think the word out on the street is that there's some big events coming in the future and we got to buy up this farmland because this is tangible assets that we can still make money on. Because I think they know there's something heading in the near future. Something's coming.
So Thor, do you have any charts that indicate anything like that?
The big thing I've seen in the astrology is in the sidereal zodiac, Saturn is going through the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius represents the economy. So there's a huge restructuring of the economy that's happening from now until March of 2025. And this is about making the economy more equitable because Aquarius represents the masses. So if you want to consider it the every person. So there's events that need to take place because there's been this vast amounts of inequity that's shown up in the economy. Now, that's why we were talking about earlier, Wall Street versus Main Street kind of divide. So the events that are coming, Saturn in the sign of Aquarius is going to bring more equilibrium.
So we're all going to be rich?
I don't know if we're all going to be rich, but I think there's going to be more, if you want to consider it fairness brought to the situation, whatever that means, whatever that means to the powers that be.
For me, at least 30,000 more a year in my income.
I don't know if Hollywood is going to like this.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be with what happens. I think there's going to be winners and losers. I think there's going to be people that don't like it. I'm kind of worried about a lot of the 401ks and investment funds that are out there. We may see problems with those. We might see some sort of rebalancing of generational wealth coming, and I think that's going to be the big the pill that people don't want to swallow.
Well, Thor, since you mentioned that wealth and you talk about winners and losers, right now, when you look at it based on Wall Street, the upper echelon are doing very, very well. The lower, not so much. Do we see a shift in power then?
I feel like what we're heading towards, and I feel the astrology, there is a shift of power, but I feel with the advent of things like automation and AI, I do. This is my personal feeling, and I can mix this with the astrology as well. But I do think there is going to be a UBI, because of there's going to be not as many jobs in the future. So I feel like if you want to consider that a win, I don't know, because it might be that people just have a really basic standard of living. You know, we were talking about earlier, you'll own nothing and be happy. So
well, listen,
it could be something along.
I love the time machine. I just don't want to be on the side of the Eloy. I don't want to be
Yeah.
food. I'm not very boneless. Yeah. Given the choice, I mean, we are in a basement. I'm probably going to be a Morlock. So,
Yeah.
But as somebody who's been in the business, I worry about AI. And to defend Thor's point even further, when we've seen technology come into play, we've seen where it's like, oh, okay, we're supposed to create more jobs, or a better way of putting it, we're going to pay more for your services. Now, all of a sudden, technology comes in and it downsizes the jobs. We've seen that just in fast food restaurants. All of a sudden, you go to the counter, you're punching it on the computer. So there are less jobs as technology advances.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. Who haven't we hit on this topic? Have we hit everybody? No, we have not gone overseas. Rick has not chimed in.
So I just want to clarify something. So, Prima, yeah, I don't think that that anybody's threatening somebody. So, I think when he's saying when Grumpy's saying eliminating the elites, I think it's eliminating that power discrepancy. Right. So I hope you stick around, honey, because you're one of my favorites. I want you to stick around. Okay. So that being said,
yes.
Woo! So I did a reading for AI this week. I don't know if you saw that.
I did miss that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did a reading. I read for AI like it was an entity.
Well, then go to your page to check out further on the reading on
that
AI.
Was creepy.
So our last scheduled topic.
Yeah, I can push our quick hits to the 2 weeks from now, because I'll explain when we get there. But we got one more topic, and it is about the vice president, because numbers came out recently on Kamala Harris. Right now, 52% disapprove of her job performance. Her approval rating is lower than President Biden at 36%. The favorable view on her right now is at 38%. These are not great numbers as we approach November and going into the election cycle. As we look into the cards, is there something we can see that maybe helps her improve? That's probably the best way to describe it. I know. I knew you were going to do that, but I'm talking. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to let the cards speak. Here's the board. You're shuffled. Put them up.
You remember the song Camera?
Yeah, I do remember.
Every time I say her name, I'm like, Kamala.
Good thing this is for entertainment purposes only, because there is no wagering. Anyway.
So we've got King of Swords in reverse, King of Pentacles in reverse, the Hermit card, the Magician in reverse, and High Priestess in reverse. And then we've got the Page of Swords as dominant energy, and the Eight of Swords in reverse as the under the surface energy.
Now, before I pass it, I'm the novice. Go point to the Hermit card for a second.
I will point to that.
It's interesting that card comes out, because if you look at Kamala Harris and look at what she's done over the 4 years, most of the first 3 years, we did not see a lot of our vice president. That's fact. I mean, if you look at look at the news, where was she? Not really. Now she's out there in public now, but really much of the 3 years, we didn't see a lot of our vice president. I mean, if you look at it, that's fact. It's interesting that the Hermit card comes out in that. That's just an interesting observation in my point. And since I am not an expert, I pass it to the experts. Rick, what do you think?
So what's our direct question on this one?
I'm basically asking, knowing that her numbers and approval numbers are so bad, is there anything in the cards that can say she will get better?
Oh, that would explain why what's just gone through my head, and this is
really?
I've got the Imagine song where some say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And
know the song?
I just Imagine.
I know. Classic song.
I'm a dreamer and I'm not the only one. But my feeling was, what went through my head was, she needs to get her head and her ass wired together. Her ass is balanced on her shoulders where her head should be, and she's talking out of it. because I was just looking at that array of cards, and I just thought that not in the real world, you know, very, very materialistic. And I was looking at the knight. Is it the Knight of Swords up there? And I was
it's the Page of Swords.
Sorry, the Page of Swords up there, and I was just feeling that it's dreaming, just absolutely dreaming. You know, that things will be all right, but I need to get in my reality there. That's what I was thinking, of just going, right, what are you actually trying to say? Because the song that was playing alongside it was The Land of Confusion there by Genesis. So there's something going on where there's lots of stuff being thrown into the mix there, and she's not making a compelling case one way or the other, and that's why people aren't backing, because they don't know what it is that they want to follow on with, because it's a hodgepodge of just ish. Is that the right word?
Ish. I like that. Yeah.
Ish. And the one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing, so you can't get behind him. So for me, she needs to completely withdraw, because where I would bring out the Hermit card. Hermit card for me is all about introspection. I nearly went Kermit there. Well, Kermit's a Muppet, so speak on that one.
You imagine we're getting one. Hi, Kermit the Frog here.
Yeah. Kermit the Frog here. Yeah.
Oh my God, who did that? Was that you, Rick?
Yeah. Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
But
I love your American accent.
He does it well.
His American amphibian accent.
But I was just sensing the need to sort of withdraw and just go into that place of contemplation and actually look what product she's actually putting out. Because again, with all of these reversals, I'm looking at them and going, I'm not in my real world here. I'm not in the right place to advise anybody. So it's kind of like she needs to get grounded and maybe look at again. So re-look at. I don't know, but she's not working in tandem with anybody. I think it's just. She's in a dream world, so she might well be dreaming and not the only one, but she's not doing a very good job. That's just based on the cards and not any particular opinion, because yet again, I don't know who this person is.
I think it's interesting you pulled out Genesis Land of Confusion, because that music video involved a president.
Yes.
And had the Muppet of Ronald Reagan. Hey, Nance, what a terrible dream.
That was great.
And Nancy, where's my head gone again?
Yeah. Well, you could say that again.
So I get the sense that this is somebody who got on the roller coaster, pulled down the chest harness, buckled their seatbelt, and it took it that first dip, and she's like, yeah, I really don't want to be on this ride anymore.
Yeah.
I'm getting the sense that she's trying to figure a way out of this situation. I know she is allegedly on the ticket. Did he decide officially that she's on the ticket?
I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point.
But foregone conclusion, but not necessarily.
No.
100% on the ticket.
But based on your theory that, you know, she wants off the ride, I go to Gregopedia when I say to the Jetsons, Jane, stop this crazy thing.
I could walk the dog.
I figured he was there. He would have literally followed my line on that.
So gals, what do you think? TD, what are you taking on this with Miss Kamala?
Well, there's no truth coming out, that's for sure. She is not one to be in charge of our money. She really has been kind of hidden since she took office. I haven't really heard much of her in the last few years. And now all of a sudden there's all this information coming out about her again with that Page of Swords, but it's all muddled up in her head. She cannot, she's creating her own universe in her mind of how she appears to the public.
Well, there's an interesting quote that just came out.
That's a funny quote.
She speaks in
I remember
very good, B-Bear.
Oh my God, I love the card that's jumping out at me. What is the underlying? What is the last card? Is it the?
That's the 8 of Swords in reverse.
All right, that just jumps out on me, and I'm picturing her. That's her trying to. She doesn't want to be where she is, and she's got the choice. She can. Those blindfolds, those bindings are not. You know, she can move. She can take them off, but she's staying there. She doesn't want to be there. And that card out of that spread just jumped right at me. She does not want to be. She doesn't want to have anything to do with this, but she's sort of like she's stuck, but she's not stuck. If you understand that,
I think the best interpretation is she's stuck, but she's not stuck. It's almost like she wants a bigger job, doesn't want this job.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that Grumpy Sapper just said, that she wants the top job. I don't know if she wants the top job. I think she wants a better job that's in a collective. I think she wants to go to Supreme Court. I think she wants to do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants the focus put on her quite so much as an individual anymore. So, TD, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would agree. I don't know that she wanted the job to begin with. She hasn't done the job that I've noticed. She's just been pretty much silent. And she hasn't, she might want out.
So let's do this.
What are you doing?
Does she want to go in a different direction? Does she want to get an appointment to some other department?
Like a transfer.
Like a transfer.
Wow.
The Devil in reverse. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. 8 of Pentacles upright. 10 of Swords. The Wish card. 9 of Cups.
No.
And in the middle, we've got King of Cups. Under the surface, we've got the Moon card. What do you think, guys and gals?
She wants to go someplace else.
Yeah, it's her fondish wish.
Fondish wish.
Thor, do you have any insight as far as her astrology for Kamala?
Now, I haven't looked at her chart recently, but based on the reading, the spread we have there, first of all, I want to point out with the High Priestess reverse that's underneath the 9 of Cups. I feel like she's not obviously very what is the word? She doesn't come across as likable to the public. So when they see her speak, and I think that's the problem. But yes, I do feel like her former job, I think she was a district attorney in California.
And a senator.
I feel like she would want to be in like the judicial branch, but I feel like whoever's pulling the strings in the Democratic Party, I mean, it might have been following orders. She's going to be the vice president.
Right.
I feel that this presidency, it's been a very strange time, and I'm even thinking towards the end of the year with the eclipses, there's going to be a massive shakeup. I don't even know if this presidency is meant to be a permanent presidency, as in like 8 years.
You mean the next one, the 2024?
Like
Barkley, I can't do anything right now.
No, Thor, let me ask you this. You're saying then you don't see potentially this presidency, if he's reelected, that he would make 4 years.
No.
So yeah, I think that now, based on everything I'm seeing, it doesn't mean that he won't win. What it means is maybe, people have been jokingly saying he's a placeholder. So there could be another plan in play, and Kamala might be one of those, quote unquote, a placeholder as well, because I don't really think she wants the top job as president either.
No.
So Thor, I know the United States and me personally, are both in a Sati Sati. Do you want to just let everybody know what the Sati Sati is so that they can kind of understand the Vedic perspective?
So Sati Sati in Vedic astrology is when Saturn's transiting over the moon in your chart. So wherever your moon is in natally in your chart. And in India, it used to be that when you're going through Sati Sati, it's a 7.5 year long period of bad luck, of being rejected, of facing a lot of trials. The USA chart right now is right in smack dab the worst part of it right now in 2024. So 2024 is like the worst part of the Sati Sati. So that's why I've been making kind of a lot of dire predictions more this year. I see the outcomes not being well. For example, when we were talking about the economy earlier, I think this ties in the politics and everything. But I feel like, yeah, we're in the bread and circuses, smoke and mirrors universe right now. And if they were to uncover the veil, we would see how bad things really are. I feel like things are pretty bad right now. So, and it's just being kind of papered over well enough where people can't see it.
Yeah.
Is this the note we want to go out on today? Really? I'm just saying.
No, you know what? Let's talk about some happy stuff. Let's talk about something you love. Let's talk about baseball.
Okay, I'm going to do this real quick to wrap up today. I'm going to put the screen up here. Baseball starts in 2 weeks. We're just going to do this as quick hit to wrap up. I'm going to give each individual one team. I am going to give you a breakdown of what the 5 major betting sites have them predicting in wins, and then you'll tell me based on the cards, are they going to maybe be higher or lower?
All right.
One card, one team.
And I'm going to start with you. The New York Yankees, all the betting sites have a prediction of 94 wins, which would probably be enough to make the playoffs.
The New York Yankees?
Yes.
The New York Yankees.
The New York baseball Yankees.
So I'm getting a card here, and we got a Queen of Wands in reverse for the New York Yankees. So you know what that means?
Tell me.
It means everybody's saying they're going to do great. They're going to do great things. But know what? They're not going to do great things.
Oh.
It's not going to work too hard.
Oh, my God.
What's going to happen is they're going to get real comfortable with the idea of being the top team. And they're not going to practice as hard as they're supposed to. So I think my advice to the New York Yankees and to their coaches is to make sure that nobody gets too cocky. No, not too big for their britches. They got to make sure that they still train and play like they want it. It's not going to come easy.
Wow. Okay, that's a bold prediction. FTA, you and I are both the resident New York Mets fans. The experts are saying 81 wins, meaning they're going to be nothing more than a 500 team. Give me the card on the Mets.
There's your card. We got 10 of Pentacles in reverse.
I know you're a fan, but give me the read.
I'm a diehard Mets fan.
Same.
There's always tomorrow.
Yeah, we've been hearing that for like since 1986. I know.
I love my Mets. I love my Mets. Oh God, why does it have to be in reverse? Well, reading that card, it's financial loss. So I'm like, no.
Well, that's interesting you say financial loss because the ownership didn't invest as much money as everybody thought he was going to invest in. So maybe there's something to that. That's very interesting.
Hope springs eternal. We are going to make the playoffs.
Thor, the only reason I'm giving you this, I know you're an Arizona State University guy. So the Arizona Diamondbacks predicted to win 84 games. They were in the World Series last year. Based on this card, where do you see Arizona?
They're not going the distance. Yeah, judgment reversed. I feel like it's a bad call. It's I think they're gonna do with just this single card, not good at all with the judgment reversed.
Wow. I got to do one more, and I'm putting it on Rick, knowing he has no real interest in baseball, but I'm going to give you the team that everybody's saying will be the best team in baseball. Dodgers are predicted to win 103 games by the betting sites. The card is
Sun in reverse.
Rick?
Don't agree.
Okay.
As I say, the Sun in reverse for me, I mean, when it's upright, it's all about nurturing. It's all about bringing life to, giving, sort of growth, shedding a light on things. That for me, when I'm just getting the feeling behind it, because as I say, I'm not really sure about reversals, but my feeling around that card is somebody or something in decline. Now, maybe it's been a slow burner. Maybe it's just going to be a sudden thing where people that are renowned for whatever it is that they do is all of a sudden lose form or something like that. They won't lose class, but might lose form. So my sense around that card is a team in decline. So I don't know whether that makes any sense for people who watch the team. And when you was talking about teams there that need to put the amount of effort in, when I'm sat with that card, that's what I'm thinking. Has it become too easy? Has it become a procession? And maybe it's their time now to bow out into the sunlight. I don't know, because as I say, I don't know anything about baseball.
No, but I will interpret that this way. Note to self, bet the under on the Dodgers.
That's because they left Brooklyn. That's because they left Brooklyn. They've been cursed. They should have never left Brooklyn.
They left Brooklyn before I was born. I don't know.
No, but still, they should have never left.
With the Dodgers does the thing before they went to LA. Yeah. That's I don't know. To be honest.
The Cubs broke the curse, so
yeah, that's true. You know what?
Things can happen.
If the Cubs, if the Cubs still had the curse, that would have been the card to read. Like, oh, they finally got to break it, but they did that a few years back. So
was that everybody?
Right? I didn't have one for TD. Unfortunately, I apologize to you on that. I'm sorry, but I will say this: somebody paid her a compliment.
Oh yes. And we've got, we're all fans of Foxy 313. Foxy is saying that Tarot Destiny's looking as pretty as usual.
I think that's the perfect note to go out on. We're going out on a positive note, and I don't have to re-quote Animal House. I don't know. We don't want to have to go remain calm all as well again. Everybody, as always, thank you. We're doing this every other week. We'll come up with 3 or 4 news topics. We'll have a little bit of fun. We'll take a look at what the cards have to say. Everybody's got some individual sites. Real quick.
So you can find me at fortunecookiestarot.com. You can email me at fortunecookiestarot@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, my favorite platform. I do have a Monday morning show with my esteemed colleague, Rick Paul. We are doing Vibe with the Tribe. Catch us bright and early and set your week up for a delightful high vibe kind of feeling. We just want to make everybody happy for the start of the week.
Thor has a YouTube channel. He's doing his readings through there.
And TikTok.
He's
still on TikTok.
He's the only one on TikTok, I might add. But again, if you're looking for the astrology reading through Thor, go to him there. And by the way, absolutely.
ThorSandalwood.com.
Thank you.
And you can also find him at Thor Sandalwood on YouTube. And Thor, are you straight Thor Sandalwood on TikTok?
Yes, you can find me. And then also I have 2 channels on TikTok, Thor Sandalwood and then Thor_astrology.
Awesome.
But it might not be TikTok anymore, so it might just be YouTube.
True. Yeah.
Well, we always have YouTube Shorts. We can always do that.
Yeah.
This is true. And who are we missing? We gotta get
Rick, how can people contact you for readings?
We're on YouTube, which is Rick Paul Psychic. Tarot worker and thought therapist are at my email address, which is mediumrick007@gmail.com. And we've got the Facebook, which I've been on for many years, Rick Paul Spiritual Medium and Psychic. And I just want to throw in a wrestling reference before I go. And if you're not down with that, I've got 2 words for you.
There you go. I knew exactly where you went with that, and I'm just going to leave it at that. We don't have to say the words. It's got to do that. Thank you. And TD.
I am on Instagram at Tarot Destiny altogether, and on YouTube, Tarot/Destiny.
And we know FTA is TBD.
Right. And Tarot Destiny is up and ready to do private readings. So you can contact her through her Instagram. Just DM her over there and you can book readings with her. So it's a really exciting time. you know, she's one of my best students. She's unbelievably gifted. So if you want to let her do some readings for you guys, reach out to her, and you know she'll do that for you. We're gonna work on her YouTube channel and FTA. We're gonna launch
there. I'm getting there.
No problem.
It's a work in
as
progress.
always, my super good friend Rob. We have been friends forever. 35 pounds ago.
Yeah, both of us anyway.
No, Rob
Hey,
and
I'm
I have
just
known each other since we were in our 20s.
Yeah, pretty
since
much.
way back when in college. And he's such a great friend and he's such an amazing talent. Please be sure that you go over and give his channel a subscribe. He doesn't flex his YouTube channel too much. I'm forcing him to do it.
That's true.
I'm making him get in there. He's
Yeah.
such a great dude and such a great interviewer, and he's a terrific component. He's the glue that's holding all these crazy psychics together. He's herding cats. So this is great.
And I'm so excited. I have a fellow Met fan. I'm so excited.
Look, you got to share the pain and the suffering. It's very important.
Exactly.
It's a very
But
important part of
we
all
have
this.
to believe.
Absolutely.
Oh, Rob, you're getting a compliment here. You look like Aid Edmondson.
What's an Aid Edmondson?
That's Adrian Edmondson from The Young Ones.
Wait a minute. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Thank you.
Oh no, he didn't say I don't like Smash. He just yell stuff all the time.
Pretty much. Which is pretty much my role on this show. Yell stuff. We will reconvene in 2 weeks. What'll happen in the next 2 weeks? God only knows. Will we be there to talk about it? Oh yeah, we will.
And if you're watching this on the replay, let us know in the comments what you like, what you didn't like. This is only our third show, right?
Third show.
So it's only our third show. We're still working on the format. We want to make it really fun and interactive for you guys. The live format we're hoping is going to work really well, so you guys can actually ask us questions about hot news topics that are going on, and you can give us some feedback on what we're talking about. So thanks so much, everybody, for being here. All of my colleagues on the panel, thanks so much, guys, for being a part of this. I think this is a great thing we're building together.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks, same time, same station, 1 o'clock, New York time, 2 weeks from now, Thursday.
So mark it down on the 28th. We'll be back. And until then, we'll see you in the future.
Bye, everybody.